The Edmontosaurus is a type of hadrosaurid, which is a duck-billed dinosaur from the late Cretaceous period. Hadrosaurids boast a very sophisticated chewing apparatus. Thus, this podcast will be focusing on the diet and feeding adaptations of the Edmontosaurus. It was always known that this genus of dinosaur was an herbivore, but details regarding their specific feeding habits were found through grueling scientific experimentation and investigations. The tactic employed to discover their preferred diet was to complete an in-depth study of the Edmontosaurus's skull and jaw structure. What was found was a chewing device highly evolved for the species at the time. The mouths of hadrosaurids display hundreds of teeth distributed in many rows, which enabled them to digest the tough plant life of the time. However, scientists were stumped that they were able to consume a diet consisting of such chewing, since dinosaurs didn't have the complex jaw system found in mammals today. This is why the study of the diet of the Edmontosaurus was such a fascinating one. In order to determine just how it was that these duck-billed reptiles were able to have the diet that they did, Purnell conducted three-dimensional studies of the minute scratches on the Edmontosaurus's teeth. What was revealed by these studies was surprising. Paul Barrett, the co-author of the study, stated that they chewed in a way unlike anything alive today. Barrett explained that, rather than a flexible lower jaw joint, they had a hinge between the upper jaws and the rest of the skull. This unique hinge enabled the tooth surfaces to slide across each other, which in turn succeeded in grinding and shredding the food. The Edmontosaurus has been said, somewhat jokingly, to have a cranial cuisine art because of its remarkable chopping ability. So what does this mean in regards to the habits and behavior of the Edmontosaurus? It opened up the question of grazer versus browser. In order to visualize the drastic difference between these two types of diet, one can picture the differences between a sheep, a grazer that feeds low to the ground, and a giraffe reaching up to eat leaves and twigs. The consequence of this study was the use of the discovery of the unique jaw structure to determine other aspects of this dinosaur's life. According to Purnell and his colleagues, the wear patterns they studied on its teeth are most representative of today's grass eaters. A member of the research team explained, "We can tell from the scratches that the hadrosaur's food either contained small particles of grit, normal for vegetation cropped close to the ground, or, like grass, contained microscopic granules of silica. Now, because of this study, we can envision the Edmontosaurus as a grazer." His body features forelegs that were much less sturdy than the hind legs, but were developed enough to be able to be used in standing or some movement. After the confirmation that the Edmontosaurus is a grazer, we can imagine him balancing on his smaller forelegs in order to feed on the ground vegetation. The Edmontosaurus was one of the last surviving dinosaurs of his period. Purnell enforces this theory and labels the hadrosaur as an incredibly successful species, taking their place as the dominant plant-eating species in the late Cretaceous period. Their renowned success is in part due to their structural adaptation. Their uniquely hinged jaw enabled them to consume the tough plant life that was prevalent during this time. While other herbivores may have struggled with the digestion of the tough vegetation of the Cretaceous period, the Edmontosaurus adapted accordingly in order to assert its dominance as the most successful plant eater of its time.